Hi everyone, my name is Jeff, and today's video will be in a continuing series of videos that I mentioned I would be doing for a period of time, having to do with my book that I wrote recently called Folding the Mind, Unique Discoveries We All Can Make into Deeper Reality Naturally. And there's various themes and sub-themes and understandings that run through the book that I will be talking about that I think will be helpful to people. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about some aspects of tantric practice and also talking about, for lack of a better word, a technique having to do with motivating ourselves to go very deep in our meditation practice. I've talked about meditation, briefly talked about meditation practice in another video, and we'll be talking about aspects of it in this video. So we'll be touching on major topics and subtopics from many different angles throughout these series of talks. Tantric practice has to do with the esoteric Vajrayana Buddhism type of practice. It's, in particular, this is an aspect that I have learned about from studying with my own teacher, Dr. Frederick Lenz, also known as Rama. And the way I practice it, and at least my understanding, is that in tantric practice, at least one aspect of it, is actually taking a supposed negative type interaction and turning it into a positive. So there's many different things in our lives that we come up across, whether it's interacting with another person or interfacing with our environment or deeper aspects of in our self-discovery practice having to do with deeper aspects of higher dimensions. All sorts of things that we come across in our practice. But in regards to motivation aspect, for example, in my own life, and I think other people go through this too in various ways, unique to them, I at times come across a situation where I'm interacting with somebody else that's upsetting to me for whatever reason. Something can affect my energy field, where I start feeling wobbly energetically. I may start getting upset with myself or the other person involved, and not really trying to cast any blame or about another person. I'm totally responsible for my reactions to any type of interaction with another person or whatever. But when I'm getting in a reactive state, which happens a lot less than it used to because I've worked at it, but it still does happen. And I can notice different patterns associated with that, inner patterns that I become aware of how I can become reactive, for instance. And I'm suggesting that for each of us, hopefully that doesn't occur, but if we do get upset at times with other people or we find ourselves being reactive, this is something that I feel can be helpful with that, to actually use it as to our advantage, that actually use this potentially painful, because there can be a certain amount of suffering involved when we're not feeling balanced, out of whack, so to speak, because of something that might, some situation that is happening in our life, that we could actually take that supposedly upsetting and negative type of a thing and actually use it to go deeper into our meditation. So we can kind of complain about what is going on with us, how it's going to affect our meditation, how it's affecting our life, how we're losing time. We can we're just not handling the situation properly when we get upset or get reactive. And in our meditation later that day or later that night, we can actually use that situation that happened during the day or whenever it happened, and not try to over-focus on it. But what I say to myself is that, well, instead of me still feeling the kind of ramifications of what happened in any particular situation, whether with a person or not, why don't I just go deeper into my meditation? It's deeper as we go deeper into our meditation, go deeper into our deeper self, into these higher awareness, into these higher dimensions. That's where energy lies, a very deep, powerful type of energy, very positive. Also, happiness lies there. Aspects of happiness lies in these dimensions, and if we can immerse ourselves through our meditation practice, as one example, and these in happiness, for instance, which are definitely noticeable in the higher dimensions, which we can access in our meditation with practice, that whatever was bothering us, whatever potentially even negativity that was still with us, can be blown away and be dissolved. And it doesn't even, it may not even take that long to do that. And so instead of once again waffling in an imbalanced, interconflicted state where we're losing our energy, we focus that much more, a very tight focus. In meditation, after a while, we can develop a very tight focus on each of the three main chakras that I have actually referenced in various talks: the navel center, the heart center, and the third eye. When I started off meditating, I didn't, even though I was told about this by my own teacher and by others, that the focus is really important on the particular chakra, and that, but the motivation to actually spend time in meditation practice, where we're stilling the mind, quieting down the mind, that they actually maintain a level of focus on these chakras. Eventually, towards the end of our meditation practice, we let go of the chakra, but we still stay very attentive and in a focused state. But this very tight focus actually is a big factor, a major component in being able to go deeper. There are other components to it, other aspects of meditation that we'll have mentioned and we'll continue to talk about in these various talks. But via that focus, we do start accessing that energetic portal. For instance, if we're meditating on the third eye, for instance, which I spend a fair amount of time on, it's that deep level of focus on that particular chakra where we start feeling, for instance, a higher light. And also, depending on the particular chakra, a type of various kinds of knowledge, a type of tapping into a type of intelligence associated with that chakra. But it really takes a really tight focus after a while. So we built up that focus from a medium focus incrementally over time to a very deep focus, a tight focus, as I mentioned or alluded to in the video on meditation. So that's exciting to me, to actually also this motivation, the aspect of motivation I'm talking about. It's not necessarily easy to motivate ourselves to sit down our morning meditation and our evening meditation day after day and actually focus on the chakra, and maybe we'll feel good that particular day. Maybe it'll feel kind of neutral. Maybe some days we'll actually tap into noticeable energy. It takes a while to do any of this. But I have learned in my own practice that because I felt stuck at times during my self-discovery type practice in regards to meditation practice, that it can be difficult. Sometimes we want to give up or take a break or whatever it might be, because it is not necessarily easy. And if we're looking for results, I'm suggesting actually not to look for results, but to make ourselves available and to have a relaxed and calm attitude and not really expect results, because that can actually turn into an obstacle. But the ability to stay with our meditation day after day, year after year, throughout an entire lifetime, is not necessarily easy. But I've learned that once we start accessing even a little trickles of energy, Kundalini energy that starts rising from the root chakra, when that becomes noticeable, even a little bit, that's exciting. That is very motivating. So I will leave this at that. The main part of this video, I've introduced a little bit about tantric practice, which I will mention in another video. But this idea of what is it going to take to motivate us to stay with our meditation practice, to really generate incrementally a very tight focus on these chakras after a while, so that it's more likely we'll be able to start tapping into the inner layers and higher dimensionality that is so important in our self-discovery practice. Once we start tapping into the higher intelligence and light and energy, positive energy, all these things are very positive, that which can take a while, that really picks us up and really will motivate us to continue to practice our self-discovery and our self-discovery practice, continue to really practice meditation and not give up. The secret is not to give up. And I know that from my own experience, because I have at times given up, you might say, for a little while, and then re-engaged myself. But this kind of idea of what is it going to take to motivate ourselves to go beyond suffering, to go to tap into happiness and into higher understandings and intelligence. What is it really going to take for us to do that before we kind of like, if we don't do much of it, or it doesn't feel like we're making much progress, there is a tendency to just give up. Never give up, of course. So we'll go into many other different ideas on this, different angles on this throughout these talks, and I will be referencing my book. So these videos are an opportunity for people, if they're interested in interfacing with this type of knowledge, at least from my approach, that this would be one way to do that. Reading the book is another way. But both the videos that I will be creating and the book that I wrote are two particular ways to interact with this particular knowledge, which I learned from my own teacher and from other things in my life. But it is a particular kind of approach. So we're all unique. We're all unique perceivers. And but I feel that when I'm coming up with idea is so that it is relatable to other people and it's actionable, so people can make progress if they choose to, using some of the things that I'm mentioning. So thank you very much, and have much success with your practice.